got to cut it on a bias. I've worked in restaurants, so okay.
I'm done. Physically, I'm attracted to Nicole, but just like, for example, 55%.
I can totally, that's my jam.
You are a whore, and you will not disrespect me like this today. Good night.
I'm not lazy.
Hello and welcome to a brand new extra special episode of Tender Loving Care with your host, myself, Pauline, and my darling Kate. Kate and I have decided we cannot not discuss the latest in the 90 Day Fiancé franchise, which is a brand new season, back to basics, 90 Day Fiancé. As you probably know, our podcast, Tender Loving Care, which is available on all podcasting platforms, is a new episode each Wednesday. In that podcast, we break down a show from the TLC network, past or present, and deep dive and discuss the glorious chaos. We've decided to watch even more TLC and get in on the new season of 90 Day Fiancé and release it as some more content for you, our beautiful trash TV loving listeners. Hi, Kay.
Hello, season 10. I still can't believe that.
10, bitch. I know. It's very exciting. It's kicking off. It's kicking off well. I really like that there's an English influence in this one. You know, I always like to see that. They're bringing a lot. I feel like the first couple of seasons of 90 Day Fiancé, there were like no Brits. And now there's a ton of them, just to prove, you know, that we will do the same as these Americans, and it's fun. Kate, before we go into the episode, I do want to discuss our fantastic guest that we are going to have on the pod this week.
Yes, please do. I'm so excited.
So guys, it's spooky season, and you know that if you're a member of our Patreon or subscribers, that we have been picking documentaries that are just pure. They are hauntings, unsolved murders, UFOs, vampires, a lot of stuff. So we wanted to keep on theme. And my dear friend, Renee Watt, is a very well-known writer, psychic, witch. And she also happens to be a massive fan of Sister Wives. So I have known her for many years, and I only just found this out. So as soon as I found out she was a Sister Wives fan, I was like, get her on the pod. So her episode is going to be released this coming Friday. It's for everyone, not just for our subscribers. And be sure to check it out, because it's going to be an amazing episode. We deep dive into the disaster that is Cody Brown and Coyote Pass, everything Sister Wives, and also talk to Renee about the horoscopes of all of these ding-dongs that are on Sister Wives, and her thoughts and feelings about what's coming next with it. So be sure to check out our Friday episode, because I'm so excited for it, Kate.
I love the horoscope aspect. I cannot wait to talk about that and to look it up. I need to do some Googling.
If one of them is a Taurus, if any of them is going to be a Taurus, I don't think any of them are Taurus. I'm just saying. I don't know.
I'm trying to guess what I think Cody will be. I have not looked it up yet.
Well, I looked it up while I was doing research for it. So you don't, and you know more about astrology than I do. I don't want you to look it up.
Okay. I'll guess on that episode.
Guess.
Okay.
That's what we'll do with Renee. So I will find out all of their star signs. You guess which ones they are, and then Renee will give us a fantastic kind of breakdown.
Oh, how fun. Yes. Okay. That sounds great.
Okay. I think that would be really good. So yes, guys, we are on to season 10, and we are on episode 2. Yeah, we're on episode 2, called We Are Gathered Here Today. Kate, why don't you just go into it? There's so much of this episode. I just give me notes. Go on.
Okay. Let's start with Sophie and Benny, is it?
Dude, unclear of his name. Hang on. Rob! His name's Rob.
Oh, I don't know why I wrote Benny down.
Okay, I'm loving this, not just because it's an English girl coming to LA, but they're a disaster. And I keep forgetting Rob, who lives in LA, is 32 and she's only 23. That's a huge difference in life experience, age gap. It's very different.
That has some, that adds a lot of context and color to this whole scenario. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. So we start off with Sophie leaving her gorgeous, apparently her gorgeous flat in London, and she is coming to sunny Inglewood to go and stay with Rob, who lives in a studio without a toilet, without a bathroom. And she says, I'm a bit nervous. So we see her getting the flight to LA, and I don't know why she didn't get a direct flight. So she went to New York and then had to change it New York. And we see this like hurried video of her going through the airport, and she has felt like a minute to catch her next flight. So she lands at LAX and she's, you know, she's like, oh, I feel so awful. So we get the obligatory going into the airport toilet bathroom to go and freshen up. She's like, oh, I'm gross. Can we talk again about the shots of LA that TLC is using?
Yes.
Okay. It's so bad. So bad. So Rob lives in Inglewood, and like we said before, if you know Inglewood, some of it is like, you know, it's nice neighborhoods, families that have been there for ages, and then like anywhere, there's parts that aren't so great and are associated a lot with like 90s gangster movies set in LA, you know, stuff like that. But they are shooting this area. They've literally gone, the shots of like going to Rob's place because he's getting like tidied up for her coming is a shot of a dog just wandering down the street, which upset me. And then a man walking with like holes all in his clothes, garbage everywhere. Kate, it's awful what they're doing.
These are not the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Vanderpump Rules establishing shots.
No.
Normally on reality shows when they're shooting in LA, I feel like it's like they'll show Echo Park Lake, and then they show the Beverly Hills.
Always Echo Park Lake.
And then they show the Beverly Hills sign, and then they show like Malibu.
Yes, and then Rodeo. They'll just you see Rodeo Drive. Like it's like everything's right next to each other.
And then they go to the scene and it's like Silver Lake.
Exactly.
Yeah. They always do this though. They do this like on the other way in the other countries besides the US. They're always showing just like it's always an animal wandering around or like trash in the corner. Yeah.
I mean, even after 10, it is remarkable that after 10 seasons, I'm still surprised at the shit show that this actually is. And all these editors just going, all right, what can we do this week? I mean, it's really, I don't know why I'm surprised. But anyway, Kate, so we know that Rob or Benny or Danny or whatever his name is had something prepared for the airport, right?
Right. So last episode, we saw him not going to a job, not cleaning the apartment really, but going to meet up with this choreographer friend, I think, to learn a little dance.
So he tells us that what he wants to do is when she gets off the plane, he wants to do a little dance, a little jig for her. Unclear why. You know, she's not a dancer, he's not a dancer. Anyway, to do that, because it's dead romantic, he's 32, just want to add that in again, and then propose to her immediately afterwards. So Kate,
I have a theory. This is the TikTok effect. Okay. This is what TikTok is doing to our society, is that people think that it's cute to just stand in place and do a little dance.
You know what it is? It's the 2023 version of flash mobs. That's what it is.
Yes. It's like, oh, I'm going to do a little TikTok dance for you. And
that's what
slash like Backstreet Boys dance. Oh my gosh.
That's what it is. You know, doing them at weddings, flash mobs, all that dancing. Oh God. Yeah, that's what it is. So she feels like shit because she's been traveling and she's just like exhausted. And so she gets her luggage and oh God, she's wheeling it through LAX and he's there with flowers and he's like, this. And he's like, stop. And she's like, what's going on? And he brings out this little speaker and it's like, turns it on. And of course, because it's licensed music, we don't hear the music because TLC won't pay for anything. So then he does this. I mean, Kate, it wasn't even a dance. I don't know what he did. Little feet shuffling, moved his arms a little bit, and then went, there you go. I mean, it wasn't even a minute. It was awful.
I agree. It's like if you're going to go to that level of dancing in an airport as a gift to someone who just flew for hours and hours, please commit. I mean, he didn't even bring one of those little speakers or anything. It was just coming out of his iPhone. It made me so sad. I was like, please just bring a speaker. And then he kind of half-assed the moves. I was like, you commit to this cringy dance.
He just does. It's like he thought in his head, thought it was a great idea, and the second he started it, he went, "Oh shit!" Like it only dawned on him like the second he started it, he went, "Uh-oh," and that's where it came in. And she is just like, and then she in her confessional, she's like, like an English guy did that, like it would be dead cringe, but he's American, so it's all right. I disagree. It's terrible from an English guy and it's terrible from an American guy. So I don't know. She's like, oh, so sweet. And he comes over and they kiss. And then you think that's the worst part. You think that's the worst part of his plan.
You do. This was awesome. I mean, this is easily in my top 3 airport meeting things of 90 Day. So
what's number 1, by the way?
Well, Darce and the heel getting stuck in the escalator, obviously. Okay, so they're walking out. Just want to reiterate again, she is exhausted. She's hungry. It's like 3 or 4 a.m. in London, right? So they're about to walk out the doors, and then he quickly turns to her and gets on bended knee and whips out the ring and proposes. And she's like half asleep.
I wrote down, because I replayed this, exactly what he said. First of all, like you say, all of that's accurate. She's like got that, just shine because she's exhausted. She's like pushing it. She goes, what are you doing? And he just turns around. And I love the shot because TLC is so good. The shot is him, just a vending machine in the background. It's so awful. It's right near baggage claim in front of a vending machine. And he goes down on one knee, and this is what he says. I want to actually propose to you, though. Those were the words. I want to actually propose to you, though. All right. And then it was awful, Kate. It was so bad.
And what I don't understand, and we'll get to this part soon, why didn't he just do this at the dinner that night if he was
exactly my point? That's exactly what I was thinking. It makes look, nothing Benny, Danny, Rob has done so far makes any sense, dude.
But then he says, did you hear what he said afterwards? He was like, well, I'm part of the deal. You don't get to come here and live here unless you're marrying me. He said pretty much that. And I was like, okay.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was not cute. So then they've tried to leave. This is the elevator.
I can't.
So they're at LAX, which is a nightmare if you've never been.
Horrific.
It's terrible. It's the only worst airport in the States that I've been to personally is like Atlanta, maybe, because it's just so big. Okay, so they have to get on this elevator to go up 4 floors or whatever to get to the car, right? To the parking lot. And they get in the elevator. He starts mashing buttons and the doors won't open. And they're stuck in there for a few minutes, but what seemed like an hour because she's tired and kind of whiny. You know, I would be even grumpier if I was her, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
she's just being a little bit grumpy and whiny, which is expected. He is, for some reason, getting really upset with her. And it's like, okay, you had to drive 20 minutes to get here. Like, come on, you should be.
Well, I mean, she is, first of all, they just got engaged. Don't in front of a vending machine. Don't forget that. They just got engaged in front of a vending machine. They walk into this lift, and as you say, it's stuck and it won't go up. And she just keeps repeating, what'd you do that for? That, like, you pushed all the buttons. You pushed all the buttons. Why'd you do all that? I mean, you meant arm. You did this. You did this. You did this. It was like on a loop. It was so annoying.
It was annoying. I just thought if I was him, I would give her a pass because she's so tired and stuff.
Absolutely. And he's like, did you hear what he said as well? Write this down. You need to be mentally prepared for this.
I wrote this down too. I was like, actually, elevators break down in other countries as well. And also, how many broken down elevators are you expecting her to be in?
I think what he is trying to, I mean, look, he's not exactly a wordsmith. Once again, the proposal. I want to actually propose to you, though. I think what he was meaning by this, he was getting frustrated. I think he was embarrassed.
Yeah.
And he was trying to say, you've got to learn to deal with hard things, because the massive chip on his shoulder is that he thinks she's a super, super wealthy girl, and coming to Inglewood, where he says it's like the hood or whatever. And he keeps saying, you've got to be ready for this. You've got to prepare, like, your life's changing.
Okay.
And
yeah.
That's how he took it. Anyway, so they're just arguing, and all I could think about was the cameraman, because those lifts are so small, and the cameraman's in the corner being like, I am stuck in this lift. I don't know what to do. And she's like, oh God, there's not going to be anyone there. Like, I'm stuck here. You did this. And so then they finally get someone. It opens up, and they get out. And he goes to the 4th floor to get his car, to drive it down, to pick up her and her luggage, drive home. What she does is goes, oh, can't be bothered. I just want to get home. So she goes back into the lift with the cameraman, presses 4, and she's like, see, goes up straight away. And then she goes up to the 4th floor, pushes her luggage out, and then calls him, and he doesn't answer. And then she's waving down, trying to say, where are you? I'm here. I'm up here. And he's like, why have you come up here? Like, just so annoyed already. And then he's like, I'm here. So then he gets out of his car that he was going to drive off, walks over, grabs this stuff. And she goes, and he just says, you're fucking up the whole day.
It was so tense.
So tense. They've been engaged for about 2 minutes, and he's like, you're fucking up everything. You're fucking up. And I'm like, dude, just because you're embarrassed that you did a shit dance and a shit proposal, don't take it out on her, because that's what's going on. And so he's in a massive mood, and they get in the car. It's just like, oh, it's too much. And they drive to his house.
Yeah, and on the way there, they're seeing cop cars. I mean, it's LA, and if you are from here or have lived here, especially in big cities like that, it's like, yeah, you're going to see cop cars, you're going to hear noise, stuff is going on, right?
It is.
And he's getting kind of defensive about, he's like taking it personally that she is freaked out by the idea that he's heard several gunshots in his area before, he says. And I just thought, and I feel like you'll agree, like, if you're from a country where not everyone has guns like that, that sounds really wild, right?
I am from a country that, that's
why I'm asking you. Yeah.
And she's saying, you don't understand, we don't have guns.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, and she goes, so it sounds I remember when I first came here, and I remember visiting. I was like 12 or something, visiting with my family. We're in Florida, and I will never forget. We were on Miami Beach, and we were on a bus. And I always remember this. And I looked up on the bus. I was like 12, and there was a sign that said, "Pull out a gun, 20 years, fire the gun life, and then going to a bank and it had a gun with a like cross through it, like no weapons are allowed in here. I've never seen anything like that in my life, so it is absolutely bizarre. But I'll tell you, I've lived in very good neighborhoods in Los Angeles. I've still heard gunshots. It's a major city that has a major gun problem, and unfortunately you hear gunshots a lot. So but yeah, for her coming in, she just landed. Give her a break.
Yeah, it was a pretty intense conversation after an intense elevator situation. And yeah, I thought it was like he wasn't quite seeing her perspective, but also she's visited there before and she knows about it, right? So I don't know. So they get there to his place, and he set up actually like a very cute dinner out on his patio. He's got like some food that's on warmers and candles and
I will say, and this is me being nasty, and I can get nasty sometimes, but no, it's actually just an observation. You're right, it was all really nice, and I totally thought his neighbor must have done that while he was out, because otherwise there'd be rats everywhere, because it's a city. Anyway, it looked really pretty. Right, why are you not proposing to her there? Bizarre. But anyway, I did know. He goes, oh, she goes, what's this? And he goes, well, you know, it's like some Mexican food, and it was El Pollo Loco. That's all. I'm not making any judgment. I'm just saying it was El Pollo Loco.
Oh, it was. I didn't pick that up. That's funny. Okay.
Yeah. Moving on.
Awesome,
Moving on.
awesome.
No judge. No judge.
After a flight like that, I would eat so many things.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the end of their segment, I believe. Right.
We just see her going in to the place. And once again, it really isn't, you know, times in life when you have a ton of money, and there's times in life when you don't have any money, and you get your first place or something like that. Once again, being clean and tidy has got nothing to do with money. And he just doesn't seem to have picked anything up. It's like there's stuff everywhere. And a dog. I forgot he has this gorgeous dog in there that is not a small dog, and 2 adults living in one room. And he didn't clear it. There's like, it's weird. You walk in, and I don't know whether he's tried to like separate the places by putting up big bookshelves, but they're like covered in towels, or like there's so much in there. I wanted to just throw it all out. And you know, he doesn't have a job, okay? And he's 32, he doesn't have a job, but he has a car. And he also said when he was serving the El Pollo Loco that, oh, this reminds of us when we were in Cabo. And I'm like, so you can afford to travel, you can afford to run a car, which is not cheap. Unclear.
No, he must have something. He must have something coming in. He must do so. Did we just miss his income?
He said because she said he does this and that. He doesn't have a job at the moment. He does this and that.
Freelancey type stuff, maybe. Okay.
Maybe. Okay. I don't know. But anyway, you're right. That was the end of those lovers. So we shall see. What we were led to believe is that this guy is not a good guy, because we've seen coming up is her saying to him, finding stuff on his phone that he's already cheated on her. It's not good at all. But you know what's going to happen? She's going to marry him. She's going to get that green card, and she's going to get an OnlyFans and be living in West Hollywood. That's what's going to happen.
That's how it goes. A tale as old as time.
Yeah.
So who do you want to go to next, Polly?
Let's do Nikki. Let's do Nicole in New Jersey, 47, and Justin in Moldova, 35. We see Nikki is packing to go over and see Justin, aka Igor. Igor, I said like an American then, Igor. So she is apprehensive because she's worried about sexual stuff. She's worried about, being a trans woman over there, and she's about any kind of backlash she's going to get or prejudice. She's also worried about the state of the relationship, and she's going to meet his parents again after they found out that she's a trans woman. So there's a lot. She's stressed. We see her mum come. She's packing. What was in her suitcase? These like 8-inch neon stilettos. I was like, love. She's like, I need to bring some fashion to Moldova. And I was like, well, I don't know why you're packing any of that, because it's tough. She's tough sometimes.
Yeah. And tell me, were you as confused as I was about her mom and coming in and looking to be the same age? But then I calculated it, and the mom must be in her 70s, but I thought the mom looked super young. Maybe, I guess she just takes care of her skin.
She looked fantastic, this mother. She was nicely put together.
Yeah.
Because we're told Nikki's 47.
Right.
I mean, maybe she had when she was 20, you know? I mean,
yeah. Yeah.
But still 66. She looks amazing. She could have had her very young. She could have been a teenager. You never know. But I don't think so, because we saw throwback photos when Nikki was younger, and she didn't look like a teenager. So she just looked, anyway, her mum looks amazing.
Yep.
And she comes in, and she goes over to say hi to Vicious, the cat, and she just goes,
that cat is so cool.
It's so cool. But what I don't like is it's one of those extremely expensive bred cats, which I don't like.
Oh, I don't know cats well enough to know that. Okay.
Yeah, it's the Bengal cats, and people will pay like $5,000 to get them.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. But Nikki loves Vicious. I can tell she loves Vicious. I just don't obviously like the selling of animals. But the mum comes in, and it was really an important story to hear about. I mean, they looked so in love, her and her mom, and very, very close relationship. And Nikki said, we are, but it wasn't always like that. She said between 17 and 19, when I came out as trans, I didn't speak to my mom. And that is, I wondered, had she finished high school? Was she still at high school? Where was she? Very, very hard. But, it's great to see their relationship now, and her mum, just the regret she had of missing that time with her, which must be so hard. And I think it's really important when we have stories like this, about individual trans men and women, that we obviously hear a lot about, like, they're coming out and their parents. And I think that because luckily now there is so much more now known about the trans, and so much more transparency about the trans community as there was 5, 10, 15 years ago, it's a great thing. But it's also, we can presume that still people aren't prejudiced as much as they were, and that it can be really difficult for parents as well. Even though now we are so educated on it, a lot of people are, the education is out there, that it doesn't mean that parents aren't going to be sad, or they're going to be confused or not know about it. And I think it was really important to see that, and just see what a great relationship she has with her mum, and how sad she was that she lost that time and that guilt that she feels. But now it's just seems a lovely relationship.
Yeah, it was really sad to hear about those 2 years that they weren't speaking, but I was also thinking it could have been a lot longer. I think for a lot of people, it can be much longer. And so I was like, okay, they've had a lot of years to be close together, and you could tell they love each other so much, like you said. Yeah.
I will say, I don't know, I'm just going to say, can we please stop having these ridiculously long nails? Nikki was packing, and her nails, I don't get, I sound like, so I don't know what I sound. It's just, I don't get it. I don't get the point. Like, I understand maybe if you're going out and you want to have these really over the top nails, it'd be fun, but constantly going and paying hundreds, because these nails are really expensive, to get the acrylic long nails that are up here, then trying to pack and trying to do anything is just, it sends me, it really does.
It is frustrating. I will once in a while, I'll get some tips put on, but even those, they're just, I don't know, maybe that, just a little longer than normal. that even bothers me because I'm like, oh, I can't open a can of pop like I want to. And
Don't get it
even
at
that's a
all.
struggle. I cannot imagine having a claw like that and trying to wipe my butt and stuff. It's like,
Seriously. So she speaks to her mum and they're just talking about like her worries, and Nikki breaks down and she's just worried, and then her mum's worried about how she's going to be treated. And we cut to Justin in Moldova, who goes for coffee with his friend Sergio, I believe. And Sergio knows that Nikki is trans woman, and I think he's like no. Justin's told his parents and stuff, but he says my friend obviously knows. So they're playing chess in the park, and so I'm watching this whole thing, Kate. Does Justin, apart from Justin Timberlake, does he remind you of anyone? And I'm going to give you a clue in the Bravo world.
Does he remind me of anyone? I don't know. No.
I'm watching him and he's turning like this, he's looking like this, and I go, that's it. He could not look, I could not get over how much he looks like Jason Hoppy.
Oh, yeah. I see
Bethany
that.
Frankel's demon well, they're both demons, let's be real. Ex-husband. Jason Hoppy, his eyes, he just would turn his hair. And I was like, Jason Hoppy, that's who he looks like, Jason Hoppy. And I can't get over it now. That's all I see when I look at Justin.
Yep, you nailed it. That's absolutely right. So he's another personal trainer. So many personal trainers on this show always. And so yeah, they show him working out. Everyone's working out in the park. And then meets up with the friend. I thought this was so cute. They went up to this coffee truck, and then they had the barista guy had a chessboard. I was like, oh, I love this.
That was lovely.
So yeah, they're chatting, and his friend is asking him more and more questions about the whole experience of their relationship before and how it ended and how he's feeling now, and have you guys been intimate? And he's got all kinds of questions. And he kind of just seemed genuinely curious to me. Like, I think that he will be kind and accepting. And then they ask those older men, they pull up a photo of her and they show these old men that are playing chess at the table next to them. And they're like, this is his fiance. Like, do you think she's hot or whatever? And it was just like, oh God.
I know. No, it was cute. I think that Justin is genuinely worried because she's had a lot more plastic surgery since he last met her. And, you look at those photos of her when she was younger and she was gorgeous. She had like this, I thought she had a great nose. It was like natural, like long hair. She just looked like a gorgeous woman. And you see her now, and if you see the tip of her nose, she's had multiple nose jobs, and it's like there's revision at the end of it that looks, it's so hard when you see someone beautiful and they just keep getting work done, keep getting work done.
I know. She looked like a 90s model.
I know.
In these old photos, and she just took it to the limit. Basically.
I know. Did you see her? I'll say her and Jasmine have a lot in common with their butts. They've like both, I think she got butt implants because they look exactly like Jasmine's. And it's just a shame. It's just a shame, but I guess she can do whatever she wants with her body. But she was gorgeous. She still is gorgeous, but I think Justin, aka Jason Hoppy, is a bit worried about that.
Yeah, and just how that dynamic will be in person, because I think they've mostly, like, when was the last time they were in person together?
Yeah, I don't know.
The trip where they reunited in Mexico or something.
Yeah, which was a couple of years, I'd say.
Yeah, so lots of reasons for both of them to be feeling a little bit nervous about how it's all going to go. So yeah, we'll see.
So that was the end of their segment. So we have two people left. We have Gino and we have Ashley. Who do you want to go
to? Let's go to Ashley, because I know there's going to be parts of this that pissed both of us off, I'm guessing.
It was hard.
So why don't we end on the funny note of all the Jasmine? I thought Jasmine and Gino's segment was really funny this episode.
It was good. It was good. So Ashley, Rochester, New York, 32, and her boyfriend, Manuel, Ecuador, 35. So we cut back to her having a kind of a panic attack, driving to the airport because she's worried about everything, worried he missed his plane, that they'd be out of date for their visa, everything. So she's on the phone. This made no sense to me. She's on the phone to this friend's being like, calm down, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay. Pulls up at the airport, and then, by the way, I love these airports where you can just drive up and park. Like, you know, it's just like, it's so alien to some other big airports. So she parks, and her friend that was on the phone to her is there with her. And I didn't know, why would your friend come to the airport? I didn't get that at all, why the friend came to the airport. Because
it was her sister, and they had made signs together, and I think she just wanted her there for the moral support, like in case he didn't show up.
Okay.
You know, and I was guessing that the sister maybe had to come directly from work or something, because I was like, why didn't they ride together? But she probably just had to meet her there. So I think it was like in case he wasn't there or something.
Got it.
So she's helping her calm down, and the sister tells the producer in a like on the street interview that she thinks what is happening is Ashley is the reality of the situation is finally sinking in. And that we see that on this show all the time. It's like they talk online for years or months or whatever, and it's all so romantic. And then when the person's about to land in your city, it's like, oh my God, what did I just agree to?
Yeah. One thing I want to point out, and I hope you notice this as well, because it irritated me to no end. Like you say, they're getting out. So Ashley gets out the car, her sister gets out the car, they're hugging, whatever, walking into the airport. Her sister has the banner. That's what you'd expect. They have purses, they have the cell phones. She brought tissues, okay. And a fucking gallon of Arrowhead water in a plastic gallon bottle. You are walking from your car to an airport and then walking back to your car. You need to carry around. It is so obnoxious to me. I cannot stand it. It drives me. Why are you carrying a gallon of water? Relax. Can't.
I'm dying because we know someone who used to do that constantly. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Who does their name begin with?
L.
That's who I was thinking you were going to say. Well, I'm going to tell L next time I see L. Get your shit together, L.
Yeah, I think she got a proper water bottle now, a reusable one. She used to have the jug. Yeah.
So, but she's also an extremely fit athlete. So maybe, I can give her that. But someone that is walking from a car to it drove me nuts. Anyway, carry on.
I did not even notice she brought that in. That is strange. So she looks great. She is wearing a see-through dress. You can fully see her butt and black thong. But maybe
great.
I bet in person it's not as obvious, but maybe on camera it picked it up. But I did notice that. But she did look really pretty and awesome.
She did look good.
So he finally arrives, and she's freaking out, crying and stuff, because it was his first time ever flying. And just to remind the listeners, he had not contacted her at all to let her know if he even got on the plane. So she's like, oh my God, you're here. And he says, why are you crying, woman? I was like, okay, here we go with him.
Red flag. It's just.
So they hug. Is there anything else at the airport?
Not really. I just want to comment on his little, his curtains. Everyone remember the curtains from the 1990s? Manuel's still rocking it. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah. So they get in the car. I don't remember a ton about the ride home. They're just kind of talking about like, oh, does the city look beautiful? Yes, it does.
He doesn't speak English, by the way. We should add that.
Right. He doesn't speak English. She has like pretty good Spanish, conversational level Spanish. So this is all in Spanish. So then they get to the house. Okay. And she is like, okay, take your shoes off, right? They're getting in. And we find out something that really made me turn on this guy. And I'm guessing Pauline too.
Absolutely.
He was not very nice to her animals, her pets, her family members.
I just wrote in block capitals, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
First thing, say hi to my cat over there. I don't like cats. Out, done. End of. And that's just the beginning. How dare you say you don't like an animal? Then what happens, Kate?
Okay, so then she's giving him a little tour of the house, and they get to the bedroom, and she doesn't have an actual door. She has just a curtain over her bedroom door. And he points that out, and he's like, so your cat and your dog can just run into the bedroom at any time? And she's like, yeah, they can go wherever they want.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, well, we don't want them in here. And then he sits on the bed, and beautiful Rico Suave, her little dog, jumps up on the bed, and he expresses that that's not okay, and that the dog should stay outside. Yeah. And we get a great line from her. I loved her reaction to this. She did not like this.
Yeah.
And she tells us, I've had Rico a long time, and several men have come in and out of my life. Guess who stays? Rico motherfucking Suave. And she was not having this attitude.
I was very, 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 very happy. And as a witch, she has so much connection to nature and to animals. So I wouldn't expect anything else, anything less. But this, how dare you? And not his home and just to have anger like that towards an animal, to put an animal outside. I understand cultural differences. This is not your home, buddy. She pays the rent. This is her animal. This is her best friend. This is her love. Her cat is her dream angel. Enough. And he's like, no, so they go into the sofa, have an even bigger argument and conversation about it. He's like, no. She's like, this is going to be a problem. He's like, they shouldn't be up here. They shouldn't be down here. Can you imagine having a man walk into your house and start telling you, A, what you should do, and B, what you should do with your animals? He would last 2 minutes.
I'd be like, turn right back around and get on your second flight of your life. How about that?
Absolutely.
I didn't mind that she had a curtain over her door, but I did wish she did have a door in this moment so she could slam it on him.
Oh, slam his dick in it. That's what she should have done. And then cut off his curtains hairstyle. That's what I would have done to him.
So they're eating dinner. Oh, so at this point, she couldn't even be in the same room with him. She goes outside and has a ciggy.
I love that she's having a ciggy. I always appreciate when we see them having a ciggy.
I know there were many things in this episode that endeared me to Ashley. Because, okay, so this is the next day. We find out he's trying to get Rico off the bed. Okay. And then they're sitting in the living room, and she introduces the idea. Was I surprised she hadn't brought this up before? Yes, I was. But she introduces the idea that she is a witch, aka bruja.
Bruja.
He's not cool with this. He's not cool with this at all, really. He says that brujas are evil, and he doesn't like it that she's saying she's one. He's like, you must not know what it means. Do you know what it means? She's like, yeah, I do.
He's got some bloody nerve, I'm telling you. He just seems deeply unpleasant. Like, there's nothing that you've seen in this that you think, oh, well, he's like super cute or charming or anything. He seems opportunistic, and he doesn't seem very nice. That's it. She's a gorgeous woman that has very strong beliefs and has her own place and seems a very powerful woman in many ways, including magical. It's like, you just want to say, really?
Yeah.
Him? You know?
I know. I think she'll come to that realization eventually. I see that happening, but she's even trying to take the time and explain, you know, what it is that she does, what it means to her to be a witch. And he's still dismissing it. And that's when she walks out to the patio to smoke a cigarette. And I loved it. She turned to the producer and she's like, "Can I just vent?" And the producer was like,
that.
the producer was like, yeah, that's exactly what we want you to do.
I know. I was like, love, you've got to understand who you're playing with here. This is TLC. This reality show producers. Yes.
This is the equivalent of a money shot for TLC.
Exactly.
So she is talking about how upset this is making her, that he's not accepting her for who she is. And she had another great line that I wrote down, which is, "I'm a motherfucking witch, ho."
I know. Like, unclear who the hoe was, but yes, we do appreciate that. We do appreciate it. So was that kind of the end of it then?
That was the end of it. We did see a preview of next week where he will be meeting her mother, who very rightly is being protective and has a lot of questions for him. And she's telling us, like, my mom's not gonna put up with this crap. So I'm excited for him to get put in his damn place.
Absolutely. Talking about people getting put in their place, let's go to Gino in Michigan and Jasmine from Panama. So I just wrote my first line under this because basically it's Jasmine landing in Michigan. So we see her getting ready and, you know, all the tears and saying goodbye to her sister/daughter and then taking Coco. I love that she's taking Coco with her. They're all crying about Coco leaving and Jasmine leaving. But my first line is like, new look, because she cut off her hair, which is great. I love the natural look on her. She looks fantastic. So she cut off her hair because she's been wearing extensions and weaves and all that stuff for 15 years. I can't imagine what that does to your hair. But anyway, so she cut it all off. She looks great. But I just wrote new look, ... the tits. I told you last week, I'm mesmerized. I can't keep my eyes off them. I don't know what to do with them. They're so high and they're so round and big on this tiny frame. She's a very small, thin woman. And I have to touch them and I don't know what to do with that. I don't know how to go. I watch and I'm mesmerized, Kate.
They are striking. She is striking with the adjustments she's done to her figure. Yeah. That's funny. That's your first note. My first note is Jasmine pulls the classic woman freak out move and gets bangs.
That's true.
I'm changing up my life. I got bangs, right?
Yeah.
But she looks really cute, I think, with the hair. But yeah, it's very eye-catching, everything she's got going on. I
just can't.
The lips, while we're talking about her body, I guess. Her confessional lips look painful. We've talked about this before. And I remembered that I think I saw on Instagram that she did get them dissolved. And so I just wrote down, I'm glad she did that because it was just like too far. It went too far.
Oh, I'd imagine that.
Yeah.
So she's leaving Panama. We see her get off the plane. And it was a great reunion. It was nice to see Gino. I mean, it's so rare that we see him so happy. So he was ecstatic. That it was a great scene because she has Coco in a little stroller. I used to have Kitten in his stroller, and she's pushing it through the airport, and then she hugs Gino, and you just see Coco going, wee, just in his little stroller. He was not harmed, but he just did a little. The stroller went to the side and they're hugging and kissing and all of this and they're very happy, which we never see them like this, so very rarely. Super happy, and they're like, Coco, and she picks up Coco and he has a little diaper on, and they're all so happy. And then they do the infamous, okay, so from now on, no more fights.
I cackled so hard.
Brilliant.
Watching it with someone and I was like,
kidding. I mean, why are you even bothering?
They will be, well, she'll be screaming at him by the end of the episode, is what I said.
Absolutely.
Also, we forgot to mention that Gino informs us before she gets there that she has blocked him.
It's brilliant. I mean, it's the behavior is just I've never known anything like it. He's like, yeah, she blocked me again.
It's so normalized between them though that they ask her about it and she's like, oh, well, it's just part of our fighting ritual. You know, we got in a little fight, so I blocked him. It's no big deal. You know?
It's wild.
Yeah.
They are on something. I know, but they're all happy now because there's
Yep.
going to be no more fights, Kate. So they're fine.
No more fights. And she gets to suck on his tongue every night.
So they're like, oh, this is amazing. This is amazing. And then she's like, she keeps asking, is this the air conditioning on inside and outside of the airport? And she's like, it's so great. And coming from England, that stung a little bit because, you know, that's been commented to me before when you land in England. But yeah, she's just like, this is so great. And she's like, it's like a cold version of hell. Why would anyone live in Michigan? I mean, it was brutal.
Oh my gosh. The things she was saying.
She's so depressing. She's like, it's awful.
I think that God didn't want people to live here, but people insisted on living in Michigan. And Gino's like, okay, welcome home. Get to the house.
Oh God.
And there was some foreshadowing in this episode because before they got there, she's like, I hope your house smells fresh, like lemons and flowers. And I was like, you're going to be sorely disappointed. So they get there. She hates the colors of the walls. The Panama flag is upside down. And she says it smells musty, like a ruin.
Like a ruin. I love that use of the language. I love that.
It's so great. Then she goes to the kitchen and it's even worse.
He just, you know, I know there are bachelors that live like this, but it's probably 10 times worse, but I'm just so shocked that someone can be in their 50s and live in just with he works really hard. He has tons of money, you know, he does. He owns a home, but he just eats microwave meals. And, you know, it just shows the cultural difference. It's just not, you know, when she's like, there are no vegetables. Where are the fresh vegetables? Where are the fresh? And she couldn't believe there were so many cans, you know?
Right. It's hard to see where Gino's money is. Like,
that's tied up. That is invested well, and that got probably a life insurance policy with her not on it. He has got like 3 401ks. He's got a Roth IRA. I know exactly where his money is, and he's got a massive savings account that she knows nothing about. That's what he's got.
I feel like he seems like the perfect candidate to just hire a Merry Maid service to come in once a week, you know, but no. Then she says I wrote down everything she was saying. It was so funny. She says there's organisms in the kitchen that haven't yet been discovered by science.
Great.
She opens up the cupboard and I related to this because we always saved our plastic like grocery bags in some stash in a cupboard just to reuse them and stuff. But he's like, are you saving this trash for a zombie apocalypse? And then she opens the fridge, chocolate milk. This is why you have terrible farts.
Oh,
so gross. So then Coco does a little tinkle on the carpet, which honestly, the carpet, who cares? It's gross anyway. And then I was surprised by this bathroom. The bathroom has potential to be really nice. It's got a big bathtub by the window.
Sorry, we need to rewind. Before we walk into the ensuite bathroom, we walk into his bedroom. And I don't understand someone that doesn't make their bed in the morning, number one. But two, he has a film crew coming in. And he has his fiance's first day in America. And he didn't clean the sheets and he didn't even pull his duvet over. He just left it crumped in a ball. Who lives like this? Gino.
Listen, I'll admit my bed isn't made 100% of the days. But like you said, you have your fiance coming, you have a film crew coming.
True.
Make the bed. And wash the sheets for Jasmine. Come on.
Didn't even wash sheets.
Just crap everywhere. So I blocked that out because it was upsetting. Like gross. And then the bathroom, like I said, it's bright and there's a big tub, the windows. I was like, okay, this is not as bad. It's not like a dingy, gross bathroom, except it was gross because he didn't clean the toilet. And in fact, he left a big dump in it. And I thought of you because I know you're always like, you have to clean the toilet before you have visitors.
Always. If
Yeah.
anyone's even coming in here to service the dishwasher, clean the toilet just in case.
Right.
They showed a photo of it afterwards if it had been flushed, and there was just filth of a ring in there.
Oh,
listen, my house is not spotlessly clean by any means every single day, but just basics. Make your bed and clean the toilet.
Oh, he had not cleaned that toilet in a year or something. It was so caked on and gross.
Bizarre to me. Anyway, she was happy with the ensuite bathroom, but what was funny is that she's like, yeah, these taps we need to change, this we need to change. She has how does she not know who she's dealing with? She thinks he is this pot of gold, which he probably does, but she's not going to get her hands on it. And she thinks she's just going to put her hands into this pot of gold and take out as much as she wants and spend it however she wants. And then she's like knocking on the tile on the floor. She's like, oh, this has to come up too.
It's like, how many times have the two of you had this conversation and this argument? You want something, Gino doesn't want to spend his money.
But what she's really excited about is the fact that she can now say, I left my family for you. See, that's a good one. I left my entire life for you.
Right.
That's gonna work well. And I think that was the end of those two, right?
That was yeah, because I'm thinking of the preview for next episode. They're getting couples massages and she reveals that she spent $10,000 on butt implants that he gave her for her wedding dress.
And he storms out the massage. Kate, it was just like, well, yeah, I did spend $10,000 getting weird silicone square things put in my butt. Oh, they look so bad. Everyone just say it. It looks so bad.
I wish that she had just talked to him about it, because I can see if it's between those, spending the money on those two things, cut out the fact that it should be spent on something way more practical. But you're going to wear the dress once. So I get how she got to that point, but to lie about it is so messed up.
But it's not even that she thinks of this. She just thinks, well, he'll just give me another 10 grand for another dress.
And he will.
Spend 10 grand. I still want to spend 10 grand on a wedding dress, but he just has to give it to me again now.
And he will, because he's Gino.
It's so rough. But anyway, it was a good episode overall. I'm excited next week to get some new ones. I want to see the mother that lives in the cupboard.
Yes, I think they're going to show us at least one or two more, right? Next episode. Yeah. So yeah, that'll be great.
Excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for being here, you guys. So you are listening to this on a Tuesday. We have our regular episode coming out tomorrow on Wednesday, and our Wheel of Shame episode. And then we also on Friday have 2 episodes coming out. That will be a bonus episode, and where we're talking about sister wives. I'll let you talk about, or we talked about at the beginning of the episode, I guess.
Yes, we did.
Right. So sister wives with Renee, and our Bravo episode. So lots going on this week.
We are so excited. We've got tons. So be sure to make sure you are following us on Instagram at Tender Loving Care Podcast. And you can always email us at tenderlovingcarepod@gmail.com. We love to hear from you. You're all dream angels. And go and dream about Gino's toilet. All right. Have a great week. And we will be back tomorrow with another show. Bye-bye.
Bye.